Yes, okay. As I have told yesterday, today we are going to discuss about the CSS. So from today onwards, the CSS sessions will be started. So you have to be familiar with the HTML. So the exam will be there whenever I told. Okay, so be prepared for the HTML, not only whatever the tags I have told, practice the few more tags too, like search in the browser and practice few more tags so that you can get more technical knowledge. So first, let me start the today's CSS session. Yeah, the screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay, okay. So actually, I have told you the difference between the HTML, CSS, and JS in the first class only. Can anyone tell that the difference between the HTML and CSS? Why we are using HTML and why we are using CSS? So turn on your mic and give the answer. So make it fast. Anyone give the answer. What is the difference between the HTML and CSS? Yeah, CSS is for styling. Yeah, okay, thank you for the response. Yeah, here the HTML in the sense, just we are creating the structure of that web page. So just creating the skeleton. Here the CSS in the sense, we are styling the web page and to look beautiful. So the CSS in the sense, it is stand for cascading style sheets. So it is used to style web pages and like adding colors, changing the fonts, creating the layouts. So for the sake of making the websites more attractive, we are using this CSS. First, let me introduce what is the CSS and why. See, there are three types of CSS. First, let me write the so this is the today's session, CSS. CSS is our session today. And now, why it is used, the cascading style sheets. So this is the full form of CSS. And why we are using? Because to style the web pages, for styling the web pages, styling the web pages. So, styling the web pages in the sense, so we need to have a syntax, right? How can we style the web pages using here? First, we have already created the structure using the HTML. Then we have to apply these styles to that HTML code. So, how can we apply? First, let us see the CSS syntax here. How we can use this CSS. So there is a syntax. So the syntax here is selector. We have to mention the selector and then we'll open a curly brace and close a curly brace. In between that, you're going to give the property. Property colon, you have to give the value. There is no like quotes here. You have to mention the semicolon. Like in Java, you have to mention the semicolon in the CSS. So is that clear? So the syntax of the CSS is first selector you have to mention, then you have to open the block and you have to mention the properties you want required and the value you have to be. So, what is this selector? Why we have to mention this? Selector in the sense is nothing but a part we are selecting. Means a HTML element we are selecting here. So, here we have to mention the styles, right? Where we have to mention, for what element we have to mention. So, for that purpose only here we given a selector. If we are giving this HTML element here, then it will be know that for what HTML element we are going to give this specific styles. So for that purpose only here we are giving selector. And the property in the sense here, you are going to give the colors and the fonts you are going to change, right? For that you are mentioning the property, like I want to mention the color here, then I'm mentioning color and the value will be I want a blue color, then the value will be blue. So let me show the example too for you. See, let me show the example. So yeah, this is the example. So for first of all, selector in the sense it can be tagged, or I'll say, right, first let's see the example. So here I'm mentioning the h1 which is a HTML element. So for this text which is in the HTML element h1, I want to give the color color. In programming languages, we use color spelling like COLOR, not as usual we use COLOUR. It is a COLOR color. So we are giving here blue. I want the text in blue color and we have to mention the semicolon and we simply close the block. So this is how the syntax will be in CSS. So in CSS, there are three types. Like we can write the code in three ways. So inline syntax, there are three types. One is inline, and the other is internal, and the other is external. See here, external. So what is the difference between this and why we are using this and all? Let me say. First, here inline syntax in the sense CSS written directly into HTML tag. In the sense, we are mentioning the style as an attribute and we are giving those properties and values in that attribute only, like a values with a codes. See here, first I have given here like a block, right? So here I have given that style attribute in the HTML tag only, which is a h1 here, and I have given style attribute, and I have given the value as what I want, like property and which color I want. See here, the color is the property and red is the value of that property. So it is one of the way, that is to mention the at CSS way. To mention the CSS code, it is one of the way where we can use in the HTML tag. So HTML tag లో ఇన్లైన్ సిఎస్ఎస్ అంటే ఒక HTML ట్యాగ్ లోనే attribute గా మీరు ఈ CSS ని మెన్షన్ చేస్తున్నారు, CSS కోడ్ ని, లైక్ యు ఆర్ గివింగ్ అ స్టైల్ attribute and mentioning the value. So I hope you are understanding this part, and there will be an explanation example, right? See here, style is a CSS attribute and color red is a text color. And there is an advantage of this inline CSS, which means we can quickly build the code. So we can quickly style the code here. But there is disadvantages too. So those all we cannot reusable, right? We can only apply for this specific tag only. But If I have another H1, H2 tag, like another heading tag, so I have to mention this code another time also. But we can overcome this in the other one. So, and also the code will be mess, right? The developer can't understand, it won't look good also. And there is another way for mentioning this CSS, so that is internal CSS. Internal CSS in the sense, you are mentioning the code in the head section of the HTML part, right? You are mentioning the in head section like meta tag, title tag, and right. I have taught you in the HTML sessions. So in that head section only, we are going to use the style tag. So in inline, you are going to use style attribute, and here you are going to use style tag. So with that style tag, you are going to give this properties like this styles using the style tag. First, we have to open the style tag, and then we are giving the selector here, and then we are giving the selector name here, and the property and the value. So this is how we are mentioning the inline and all. But it is also not look good because the code will be lengthy. So it is used for single page only. If we are going to use for multiple pages, then how can we handle this? So it will be impossible, right? So for single pages, like if I want to create a single web page, then it will be useful for us. So for that purpose, we are going to use the style tag. This is another way of mentioning the styling, like CSS code. And let us see the another way, that is external CSS. Actually, we all have seen this. CSS written in separate .css file, in the sense like we are creating HTML file, right, with .html. So like that only, we are going to create another file for CSS. So that file extension should be .css only. So in that, we are going to mention the selector and the open braces and the property and the value. So here you are going to call the selectors, which is in the HTML code. So I will say how to call them and also. And the step two is you have to link. So you are writing the HTML code and you are writing the CSS code. How to link these two? How can these styles will be applied to them? So you have to mention this link tag. So link tag is used to connect with the CSS file. You have to mention this in the head section of your HTML file. Okay. So link relation in the sense you have to give the style sheet. This is the default value. Rel equals to style sheet, and H reference is you have to give the file name of the CSS file you are going to be create for that HTML file. So this is the uh, process of creating external CSS file. Okay, so see here, there is an example HTML file. See, doc type. In the head section here, we are going to mention that link relation is equals to style sheet and the H reference is equals to style CSS. So that is the thing. And we are going to give the styles in the style.css. So it will be automatically linked. So here we have given link tag, right? So it will be automatically linked to that CSS file. And the other thing is, advantages of this is it will be a professional method and it will be reusable too. If I am having like more than 5 headings, so I want to give styles, same styles for 5 headings. Then I will be, I don't want to mention in every tag, right, those styles. So I can mention class, simply class attribute in that HTML code for every heading. I can call that class name and I can mention all the styles in that block only, so that it will be reusable and it will be clean. It will look clean and it will look professional, and we can the developer can understand also easily. So this is the types of CSS and all. Let me know, have you understood this part or not? If you are going to understand this part only, then the next session will be, the continuation will be understood. So let me know, have you understood this part? Yeah, okay. There are 24 members. I want response from everyone. If you are having any doubt, please let me know. I can explain you better. Yeah, what about remaining? See, Shravanti, have you responded to me? Very few people are responding. Shravanti, Ananya, you also didn't respond to me. Harati, Suhana, Shravya, Tulasi, Yeshwant, yeah, okay, already told me, right? Manasa, what about you and all? Only some of the people are responding. Okay, let's not waste the time. You guys are listening, right? So let me explain another. See now the basics of the basics of CSS we are going to learn how to I have told you syntax, right, how to write the code in CSS. So in that format only we are going to write. Okay. Now I'm going to say what are selectors, what are the elements, like what are the types in selectors, how we can mention that selectors, and what are the styles we are going to apply in CSS. Simple. Like first, let me say what are selectors here. Here the selectors in the sense which a selectors use it to select the HTML element for styling. So in the sense, if I have mentioned the heading part and another heading part and also a paragraph part in the HTML, so how can I select them? So using their tag name or else ID or else class. So these are the types of selectors. Let me say. So selectors. There are three types of selectors we can mention in the CSS. Those are first element selector. Element selector in the sense which is nothing but the tag you have mentioned. Selector. Element sector in the sense the tag name you are going to apply the styles. So if I want to style the paragraph tag elements, so I can give here p, I can give P as a selector name, and I can open the block and I can give the styles simply here. I can give the styles simply here. So this is the use of element selector. Element selector is nothing but your tag name. Okay. And the other thing is, another type of selector is class selector. Class selector in the sense you're going to mention a class attribute in the HTML, right? So for that, you're going to mention class equal to some name. So you have to use that name as dot, you have to mention that name as dot class name. Here I'm giving class name. You have to mention your name. Suppose if I have given heading tag and in that I have mentioned the attribute as a class equals to first heading. Then I have to mention here dot first heading, then I want to open the block and I have to close the block, then I can apply the styles here. I can apply the styles here, whatever I want. So these all will apply to only for that specific heading. If I have given the class name, that specific class name, to multiple headings, then the styles will be applied to the multiple headings. So this is the use of class. And if I'm going to, and the third one is ID selector. So here the ID selector in the sense, you're going to give an ID name right in the HTML code. So ID is equals to some unique heading. You have given some unique heading. Then here in the CSS, you are going to represent ID as a hash. Here in the class, you are going to represent the class as a dot, and in ID, you are going to represent the ID as a hash. Hash. So that it will be no, it is an ID, it is a class. So that will be the, so here you have given unique heading, unique heading, unique heading ID to further heading H1 and heading tag. Then you can apply the styles in the block. So here for the ID, you have to mention the selector with a hash value. So you have to mention the hash, then you have to mention the ID name, then you have to open the block and you can apply the styles whatever you want. So this is the proper syntax of everything. Like if you want to use class, you can use. If you want to use ID selector, you can use. Or if you want to use element selector, which is a tag name, so you can use. This is the proper format of using the selectors. Why should we use this selector in the sense? To select the particular element of the HTML for applying the styles. So simple. That is the usage of the selectors. And now let me say that what are the styles you are going to apply to the style like a text or else anything. It might be a color or it might be background, right? It might be a background, and it might be a text stylus, right? See, these are the main stylings we are going to give. So today's session, I'm going to explain this. So from in upcoming classes, you'll get the animations and all. So don't worry, I'll explain those also. So first here, we are going to applying the colors, right? How can we apply the colors like style to any selector, like any element? We are going to use color property. So in this format, you are going to use the color property. So if you have given color, colon, and whatever the color you want, then it will be applied to the specific element. So I'll show the execution of a simple code to today. So don't get confused how we are going to use this and all. Don't get confused. When coming to the background, we can apply background color and we can apply background image too. So how can we apply background color and how can we apply background image? So here, when I'm going to apply a background color, I have to give background color property, background color property, and then I have to assign a value. Suppose I want to give an yellow color, then I can apply the value like this. Simply background color is the property name and yellow is my required color. So this is how I can apply the background color. So if you want to apply the background color only for that specific part, like for only about section, then you can apply for that only. So if I want to apply the for the total web page, then I can mention in a body, right? I can take the body tag like a selector. So see, I'll give here. So I can take body tag as a selector. I can open the braces and in between this I can give background hyphen color and colon I want red. So the background, the total website will be in the red color with the background. Okay, so like this, we are going to apply the background colors. And how we are going to apply the background image? Background image in the sense we are going to apply the property background hyphen image, background hyphen image colon. Here you have to give the URL, right? Which image you have to you are going to display in the background. So here you are giving the URL of that specific image in the quotes only. You have to give in quotes then you have to end the line with a semicolon. So here you have to mention the path of the image so that it will be displayed in the background. Okay. So that is the use of background image and background color. And in CSS there are some common colors we will use. Those are red, blue, green, black, yellow and purple. We can use them for styling and all. And when coming to the text styling, when coming to this text styling, we can style the text too, right? So we can color the text using color property like all time red only, na? We'll use blue. Yeah. We can style the text using the color property for coloring that specific text. So that text will be displayed in a blue color as I have given blue color. If you want decrease the font size of the text, you will going to be apply font size. So it will display as you need it. If I want the 30 pixels, right, then it will display the text is for 36 pixel size only. So if you want to change the size of the text, then you can change using this property. And also there is another property that is text alignment. If you want to align the text in the center, you can give a center. If you want in a left alignment, you can give left. If you want a right alignment, you can give right. So using this text align property, you can give the alignment also for that specific text. And here there is a one more attribute, sorry, one more property that is font family. Have you listened this earlier? I hope some of you and some of you not. So font family in the sense here there will be names, right, like Times New Roman, Arial, Caliber. So you have to change the type of the like font. Then you can change here the font family attribute is for changing the style of the text. So if I want Arial, then I can give Arial here and give a semicolon. Simply it changes into the Arial text. If I want Times New Roman, I can give Times New Roman. Whatever you want, you can give. And also, and there will be a font weight. Font weight, which is nothing but bold. So if you want to text the bold, sorry, if you want to make the text bold, you can give bold. So this is the property for making the text into bold. Okay. And then font style, which means it should be in italic. It might be in italic or else and normal too. So if you want the text style in italic, then you can mention italic. Or else, if you want to apply all these styles to that specific text, you can mention in the body itself. So any number of text we can mention. So there is no limit. So we can mention whatever the styles we want, we can mention in the body itself. So this is the session of today, like the theoretical session. Now let me explain the code for you. Like how we're going to be write in this HTML. So here I'm going to create a single page, right? So here I have given a single page which I have written the CSS code using the style tag, which is internal CSS, right? Here I am going to create only single page. So I have given using the style tag. So I have applied all the CSS stylings in this style tag only, and you have to observe one thing. It will be in the head section only. Okay. So see first what I have written in my HTML part in the body section. See, here I have given a heading in the body section, welcome to CSS, and I have given a paragraph, CSS is used to style web pages, and I have given another paragraph with the ID. So, observe this, with the ID special, and here I have given the paragraph, this is uses ID sector, and this paragraph uses class sector. Here I have given class. Here I have given class. For your understanding purpose, let me create another paragraph with the same class name. So the box. So with the same class name I have created. I have created, right. So here I am going to give my first CSS code. CSS code. So this is the paragraph I have mentioned, right? So here there will be two paragraphs of class, and there is a one paragraph of ID, right? Here the class in the sense the multiple like a group of elements. If we want to apply anything or list a group of elements in the sense we are going to use this class, and ID and class is both for what for I uniquely identifying. So for identification purpose only, we are going to use ID and class. So here class and ID difference is ID we can only apply for only single element for not in that but in the class we are going to apply for multiple elements. So here I have mentioned in the CSS, right? So see, first, I have mentioned here body. In the body, I want background color, which means my website should be in the light blue background color. So here I have given an image. You can ignore this because after that, after the execution of with the background color, I can show that. See, this is the background. This is the background color I have given for the body. So it will display for the whole website. Okay, and in the H1 tag. So here, why I have given H1 tag in the sense, I want to apply the styles for this welcome to CSS element. So here, this is the element selector. Here we have used element selector. Element selector in the sense, the selector name should be tag name, and in the block we are going to use the properties. So here I have given the tag name H1, and for that H1 tag content, I need dark blue color content, and text should be aligned in the center, and font should be in the 40 px. Right. So when coming to the paragraph. So here I have given a paragraph, right? CSS is used to style web pages. For this paragraph, I want green color and font equal to 20 px, and font family is Arial, right? So this is also an element selector. Here, as we have mentioned, tag name. Now here we have mentioned hash special, right? Which is the ID. So for ID, we are going to mention hash, right? I have told. So this is the usage. So please observe carefully. This is the usage of ID. If we are going to use the ID name to apply in the CSS, we have to mention hash compulsorily. So here you have to mention hash, and the class name, sorry, ID name. See here, I have given special, right? ID name. So here I have mentioned hash special. And for that paragraph, I need red color. So I have applied that style. And here I have mentioned dot. Why I have mentioned dot? Here I am going to use the class, right? Class name. So I have mentioned dot. For the browser understanding purpose, here we are giving hash and dot. Here, if the hash is visible, the hash is there, then the browser can understand that, oh, it's an ID. So if the dot is there, oh, it's a class. So for that purpose, here we are giving hash and dot. So here I have mentioned dot box, right? So here the classes which are named box will be having these styles, yellow color and bold. So let us see the while execute this. So let us see. Open with live sum. See, this is the output of mine. See, I have mentioned the total body background color light blue. So, this is light blue. The website color is light blue. So, I have mentioned the first paragraph, sorry, first heading. So, I have mentioned heading what? Blue color. So, the styles has applied. And the second is I have applied green color using the tag paragraph. I have used the element selector, right? So using that, I have used green color, so it will be displayed. And then there is an ID selector, right? For that, I have given uh, red color and it will be displayed as a red only. And I have given selectors two selector paragraph. So these are those two selector paragraphs, right? For both the selector paragraph, I have given only one styling using the dot class, right? Using the dot class selector, I have given single time. I have mentioned the styles only single time, but I have applied for both paragraphs. So this is the use of class. This is the difference between the ID and class. So the styles will be applied to the both paragraphs. So this is the execution, and let me show you how we can put the background image also, right? So here I want a background image in the total website. So I want to mention background image and I have to mention the URL here. So see here, I have image.jpg in my folder. So I have mentioned. If you are having image in another location, you have to mention the path of that location. Then you can execute. So let me refresh the page. See, already it has appeared. So this is my background image. So the background image has displayed. So this likewise we can apply the styles using the class, using the ID and using the element selector in CSS. In the next class, I will make you to divide the HTML and CSS file. Okay, the HTML file should be .html file and the CSS file it should be .css file. So let's work on external CSS in the next class. So you have to know everything, right? So today I have mentioned internal CSS, like I have mentioned the style tag and write all the code. So I'll mention external CSS in the next class so that you will be understand every method. Okay. So let me know, have you understood this class or not? Yeah, okay, okay. So I'm giving a task to you today. So this should be shown tomorrow to me. When the session start tomorrow, I'll ask first to share the screen and show the output. Okay, you have to create a website with the stylings like a paragraph, whatever you want, whatever the content you want, you can mention and mention the styles. I can then ask anything and everyone. Okay, so I'll pick any one of you and ask you to share the screen and execute that code. You have to show me the total CSS and HTML part. Okay? Yeah, okay. I hope you have understood the class today. So I'll expect from you, right? As I have given output, you have to practice it. So in the next class, I'm going to ask you to execute the code and to share the screen. So I can ask any one of you. Okay. So please execute that code. Not only this code, whatever the content you want, you can mention. Whatever the styles you want, you can mention. Okay. So for tomorrow, I can explain Flexbox, box model. So those and all. Let's go deeper in the CSS. Okay. Okay, shall we wind up this session today? Yeah, okay. But I have to know that you are working or not. So I'll check in next class. Compulsory. So now I'm saying I'll check in the next class. You're not going to miss the next class, right? Don't miss the next class. It will be very important for you. So don't miss the next class. In the sake of we have to show that task to ma'am, so I don't want to go to class. Don't be like that. So if you are unable to execute that and all, let me know. I'll explain you how to do that and all. Okay, if you are going to learn only, you can work with the project. So that is the point. So the guys, you can exit from the meet. Is exam practical implementation or bits. So it might be anything, Sunita. You have to be prepared. That's it. Yeah. Is there any doubts? If anyone having doubts, please stay in the meet. Or else, if you are guys are having not no doubts in the sense, you can leave the meet.